but yeah, I've been very fortunate to just kind of dream and be comfortable being uncomfortable and stepping outside of the comfort circle and just to just to try things and see what happens. And things led to another. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing thing to find something, stumble upon like the ukulele itself, and just be curious about it.
Welcome to the Audacious Living Podcast, hosted by my man, Audley Stephenson.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Audacious Living Podcast, where our mission is to empower you to live your best audacious life ever. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and I deeply appreciate you for taking time out of your day to join us. Together, we explore inspiring stories, actionable insights, and transformative ideas that challenge the status quo and ignite your passion for life. Today's episode features a remarkable journey that can be likened to the blossoming of a beautiful flower. Just as a seed needs nurturing, sunlight, and resilience to grow through the soil, our guest discovery of the ukulele was the seed that flourished into a vibrant career in music. Through persistence and unwavering belief in his dreams, he overcame obstacles to become an international music artist. His uplifting message of self-empowerment and importance of manifesting passion into purpose resonates with audiences worldwide, making this episode a powerful source of inspiration. Our guest is Derick Sebastian. He's a talented musician hailing from Maui who spent over 31 years sharing his gift of music through the ukulele. Derick's journey began at a young age when he discovered the joy of playing the instrument after facing challenges in his life. Since then, he has toured internationally, connecting with audiences across the globe and inspiring countless individuals to pursue their dreams. His commitment to uplifting others through music and storytelling has made him a well-respected figure in the industry. Derick's story is particularly relevant to our episode because it exemplifies the audacious spirit we strive to cultivate. His journey from discovering the ukulele to performing on international stages embodies the essence of perseverance, courage, and the pursuit of passion. In our conversation, Derick shares invaluable lessons learned along the way and encourages listeners to embrace their own unique paths. So now that we've got the table set, let's turn over to our conversation with Derick. Enjoy. Hey, Derick, thank you for joining me here on the Audacious Living Podcast. I appreciate you taking the time to do this, my friend. So thank you.
Yes, Ali. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and it's a blessing and an honor. So let's make it happen, bro. Let's talk story. Let's talk life, man.
Sure. And then look, that is, one of the things that here on this podcast, I just appreciate the opportunity to share stories and to hear perspective of other individuals. And the part about that really stands out for me is, through this conversation, someone can hear someone go, oh my gosh, and think of a way they can institute it in their own lives. Because really the goal, right, is for us to live this best audacious life. And so, if one person walks away with something from what we talk about today, man, I'm good. I'm good.
Yep. Amen, brother.
That's it. Now, one of the things that one of the many things that we talk about and certainly encourage as individuals is to step out so to live this audacious life that we talk about. You've got to be prepared to step out and be able to take risks and chances, and that's where the courageousness comes in, because oftentimes when we're taking that first step, we can't really see that far what's in front of us. And sometimes you've just got that like feeling where in your gut where you go, well, let me just try this anyways. I believe that feeling in your gut is that's your calling. That's what you should be doing. And so I know you that touches a little bit your life experiences, and particularly from the ability to dream and go after your dreams. And so maybe as a starting point, Derick, I'll get you to introduce yourself to our audience and kind of give them an idea of what you've been doing to get you up until this point.
Yeah. Again, Audie, thank you so much, brother. Derick Sebastian. I'm born and raised here on Maui. Still here on Maui, but been very fortunate and to share this gift of music on the ukulele. 31 years to date right now.
Wow.
But yeah, I've been very fortunate to just kind of dream and be comfortable being uncomfortable and stepping outside of the comfort circle and just to just to try things and see what happens. And things led to another. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing thing to find something, stumble upon like the ukulele itself, and just be curious about it. And I've been all over the world, met so many great people and established amazing relationships along the way. And it's just led to so many creative projects,
Yeah.
to conversations, to just connecting with souls, man. It's been amazing.
So how did it get started? I'm curious now. I hear you call it ukulele. I don't know how to pronounce ukulele. They're both correct or pronunciation?
Oddly, as long as you keep smiling, brother, I mean, hey, you know what I mean? To be on point, ukulele is the correct pronunciation in Hawaiian. So it's kind
Gotcha.
of like thinking o ukulele.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but then at the same time, the ukulele is a world instrument now. So people have accents and all that stuff. So hey, you know what it is? Ukulele, ukulele. I mean, it doesn't matter, brother. Let's just
Okay.
I mean, it's an instrument that keep you smiling. You know
There
what
you
I'm
go. There you go.
saying?
Well, and it sounds like it's an instrument that's meant a lot to you too.
To be honest, it did. It transformed my life. In the beginning, I grew up playing sports, loved baseball, football, and when I specifically was like about 11 years old, sixth grade, junior high kind of deal. My asthma got bad, and long story short, doctor said no sports for a year. We got to rest your lungs and figure out what's going on. And that really killed me, man. It really it really popped the balloon a little bit and deflated where, it was like, it was kind of like got a soul search again. And if I kind of backtrack a little bit, I grew up without a dad. My dad passed away when I was 3. So growing up to 11 years old, there was a lot of soul searching at a young age, feeling lost, not having a dad around, and just kind of questioning like why, that my dad was a great man. He just passed away. You know, in an industrial action accident. So, it
Mm,
was really sudden kind of deal. So it was
right.
like,
Right.
he was just gone. And, back then I didn't really hit me until I started to get older. Like, wow, shucks, man, that is very important and stuff like that. But anyways, I found sports, baseball and football along the way. And when that got taken away, it was very deflating. And I was just very blessed to have a good family friend. His name was Mr. Ellis, and he was the school security at that time at our school when I was sixth grade. And he was, it was one of those days, man, like, oh man, well, I'm gonna go to school. I don't know what to do. It's just going through the motions, no sports, nothing to look for it after school. And I saw Mr. Ellis, and I knew him for years already because he's just a good family friend, but he was jamming his ukulele on the school bench.
Mm,
And I was like, man, that's pretty darn cool, bro. And he was smiling, ad-libbing, making up stories or
yeah.
lyrics and talking stories. And, I thought, wow, that's like so amazing. It's like fulfilling, it's pure joy. And man, I went up to him. I said, hey, mister. And he said, hey, come watch, to jam. And he actually said, hey, you try. He's like, oh my gosh, like, that was it, man. It was a start of something amazing. And yeah, that really led me to pick up the instrument, dig deep in it, just be
Hmm.
curious, and started practicing. That filled the void of a lot of things, and
Mm.
that led to a lot of deeper life conversations too. So yeah.
So, sounds like love at first sight.
It was.
What made it so special to you when you saw it? Like, what was it that just resonated?
Ah, man, the sound. It was just a happy instrument, that sound, that frequency, that, reggae island kind of
Hmm.
deal. And he was just going at it, making up lyrics, and people around talking stories and singing along. It was just that fun, pure joy of, just going with it kind of deal. I was hooked, man. I was real hooked. I was just very, like I said, it just happened. It was, to me, it was just God's plans of, it was it just happened. And, a couple weeks later, my older brother, who was in high school at that time, I didn't know, but he was taking an ukulele class too. So he was coming home after bringing his ukulele to practice on. So, hey man, we made a deal with my brother, man. Hey, you bring that ukulele home, you practice a little while, and I'll take the rest of it, and I'll practice myself. So it was it was a good time, man. It was great for sure.
I love it. I love it. And uh, so when you were watching the teacher, like, he was ad libbing? Is that what happened? Is you kind of ad lib and just play and go with the moment kind of deal?
Yeah, he would like sing a common familiar song,
Okay.
like a local song, whatever that, and then he would add his own words to it. You know what I'm saying? So people would be like, "What?" Or the kids, us guys would be like, "Hey, what was that?" And it was awesome, man. And it really struck a something that Mr. Ellis and I could relate to, the ukulele. But along the way, man, it was more life. He became that father figure to me,
Mm,
and he became that foundation where ukulele was that connecting point, was the bridge. But it became deeper, about life, about dreams, about love. Just gotta love unconditionally
yeah,
regardless,
yeah.
about believing in yourself. And it was all through that ukulele, man. And thinking back, unfortunately, he passed back in 2013. But to be honest, to look back at it and know that my dreams was to travel the world and share the ukulele, the gift of ukulele. To say that I've accomplished that, played on like just sports stages, touring internationally, speaking TED Talks. I mean, it's just been an amazing journey, man. Seriously. And it started from that time, just stumbling upon the ukulele when Mr. Ellis was playing on that school bench.
So give me the so I've got this image. You're watching Mr. Ellis. Your mind is blown. You're freaked out. You're all excited. Give me the transition between that moment to now it's become a foundational piece of your life.
Well, to sum it up, Audley, I mean, it's all about that mustard seed of hope in
Okay.
instilling in any human being. Everybody goes through these ups and downs of soul searching. The depression nowadays is skying. The influence in today's world, from social media to commercials itself. I mean, you can just find something that would easily take someone's mind of who they really want to be, or they were, they're after.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me, Mr. Ellis, to sum it up, that moment was the true meaning of hope, or your calling, and encouragement to find your purpose, per se. And doing so, it is uncomfortable, it's scary. I've never picked up the ukulele. At that time, the ukulele was not popular, so me picking up the ukulele, I was being teased like, "Oh, Derick is this and that or whatever, and why is he playing that instrument? Why is he not just playing sports?" And they a lot of my classmates didn't understand I was struggling with asthma. So, at that time, it was like, "Hey, this instrument makes me super, it's like, just brings me to another level of happiness and joy. I'm gonna pursue it, but it takes a lot of courage to be uncomfortable, to just go for it regardless."
Yeah.
And Mr. Ellis was encouraging in that way to, "Hey, screw what everybody thinks, man. You just gotta go for it." And as we started to, just have little performances together, and he encouraged me to do ukulele contests and all that stuff, talent competitions, and it just started to manifest and to gain momentum in that way. And it was just that, again, that mustard seed of that hope, that positivity, man, to
Mm-hmm.
move
Mm-hmm.
forward.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mm. I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. So what was next then? You learned it, you saw it, you got in love with it, you embraced it.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Well, I mean, I went back into sports in high school, was an awesome time. But at the end of the day, the music calling, the music nudge, that pulling was a lot stronger. So, I ended up just pursuing music after high school,
Mm-hmm.
declining sports offerings and all that stuff. or at least ideas of trying to go after sports. But yeah, man, just went for it. It did not go as planned. I moved out to LA studying production music and
Okay.
all that good stuff. I learned a lot. But I was thinking, hey, I'm gonna be that ukulele star out in Los Angeles, and it just did not happen, bro. That kind of deflated again. I had to find
Mm,
myself, and why is this not happening when I have the courage to try? And it just like I said, things happen for a reason, and I graduated in production music, came home, went through the quote unquote, I guess the path of every graduate would go to college, or high school graduate would go to college and do that route and get a job. So I kind of was on that route, going back to college, but still had that nudge of how can I make this music thing happen? And it was tough, man. And then life threw me another curveball where my longtime girlfriend at that time, who's my wife now of nearly 20 years now,
congrats.
but we found ourselves pregnant with our first child, and we eventually got married and have our first baby. And um, I thought, man, my music career is doomed. Man. You know, I'm here chasing a career, and now I'm married and I have a kid, and it's like, man, this is it. So I
Right.
went through the motions again, to the
Yep.
job thing, and it just didn't feel right, oddly. It was just like, man, this is crazy. And the 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 come to Jesus moment, honestly, was
Hmm.
one day, my wife was teaching back then, so I would stay home and try to work on my music. And then when she comes home, then I would go out work or whatever, a gig. But man, I was carrying my son. He's 19 now, but he was a baby back then, and I was thinking to myself, how in the world can I encourage my son to go after his dreams when I'm the dad, or the dad is not going after his dreams and just putting things on hold just because of the current circumstances in life? And I
Right.
thought to myself, man, I gotta do something. So I flipped the switch, man. I went for it. And looking back, getting married to my high school sweetheart, starting a family, buying a house, getting in mortgages and whatever, all those challenges, that adversity really fueled that fire of I have no place to, I mean, I cannot fail. If it's failing, it's all lessons learned. It's all lessons, all lessons. And I started representing myself as a major label artist in an independent way. I started connecting more outside of Hawaii, building relationships, going to music conventions, and all that good stuff. And I learned it really helped me to go out in the mainland to study with these guys, because I brought, when I came home to Maui, it
Hmm.
really gave me a whole different dimension of thinking and representing as a local
Right.
artist. So and that was a start, man. Well, that was a long start. That was a long story
It's a big
short, or
step.
long
Yeah.
story long. So
So when did it become a dream then?
man, it was a dream from the beginning, oddly. It,
Mm,
it, it was it was like Mr. Ellis and I, we were like, when at sixth grade and sixth and seventh grade, we just played local talent shows on the school stages, and me and him was just going at it, just having fun. And then I think my eighth grade year, there was a statewide ukulele contest, and it was a long process. We had to fly back and forth on stages, and long, like, again, long story short, I ended up winning this statewide ukulele contest at Mr. Ellis. We wrote a song called Magic Room, and it was basically a PE locker room at Maiwaena Intermediate School, which is basically the school that, where he was sitting on the bench. That's where I found the ukulele, at Maiwaena. And we we used to, as long as my grades were good, he allowed me to cut class and go jam inside the PE locker room. You know what I'm saying? So
nice, nice.
but that we called that the Magic Room, and we wrote a song called Magic Room, and we won the statewide ukulele contest. We got to record the song and all that good stuff, and it was recognized. And that's when it really became a dream. Like, how can we take this
Mhm.
feeling and share it with the world? And
Yes.
You just gotta manifest it. I believe at least. You gotta
Hmm.
believe it, you gotta manifest it, you gotta, take baby steps towards
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? And it just started to manifest into bigger things where I wanted to travel the world. And it started to throughout the islands of Hawaii and then ukulele festivals in the mainland. And then I guess I was just at the right time at the right place where ukulele was booming. So I think, oh gosh, maybe 2010, 11, I started touring internationally. So Australia,
Wow.
Thailand, Philippines, Korea, 4 or 5 times, China twice. And then I would say Canada, Finland, Germany, Finland, Estonia. It's just been wild, and in between all the gigs and U.S. travels per
Yeah.
se. And
Yeah.
so I did that for 5, 6 years. 100, it was probably was gone 100 days out of the year, about give or take. But it was a journey, man. It's a journey. So.
That must have really opened up your eyes when you saw where it was taking you, and like, because now we're talking about new possibilities, and whenever you play in that realm of new possibilities, there's some excitement there because you never know what's coming next.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And the ukulele festivals and the touring was definitely eye-opening to see different places of the world and be embraced by different cultures and learning different languages. And how can a ukulele, a common instrument in the world, bring all these people together? I mean, it was just amazing. But at the same time, my love for sports it was just always there. And one of my dreams was to somehow connect my ukulele journey into sports. So, I also did sporting events. It started here on Maui when I started to do the Maui Invitational, the NCAA men's basketball tournaments here, halftime shows and stuff like that. And then he just eventually stumbled upon doing national anthems on the ukulele. And my first gig for national anthem was for the Arizona Diamondbacks out in Chase Field in Phoenix. And when that started, man, it kind of caught on fire. When I started doing events for PGA, Lakers, Clippers, NBA. Now it's just a bunch of MLB teams they call every single year, NBA as well. I can't take them all, unfortunately. I
Wow.
mean, but to say I've manifested that.
Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah.
of scary to say, "Hey, I want to do that. I'm gonna do it." But if you start thinking about it and you start changing the way you think and the way you talk about it in a humble way, obviously,
Sure.
and your actions start to change. And once your actions start to change, I mean, you start going towards that thing that you manifest in your mind. So, yeah.
I think the power of manifestation is well, it's real. There's no doubt about that. And what you really focus on is a way of expanding that and getting that bigger. And then it just seems like everything comes to you. Like now you're getting teams calling you. Like it sounds like there's more people reaching out to you than you reached out to them, which I think is not a bad place to be, right? Yeah.
Right. I mean, I guess that's a good problem. Everything leads to something else, right? In life in general. And, it's all about perspective,
Hmm.
and it's all about balance. It's all about doing what's right for you. And there's seasons for everything. And, to look back on this whole entire journey and to connect with people like you who inspire the world through words and podcasting and your energy. I mean, we at the end of the day, we're here to help each other walk home, regardless of what career, or it doesn't, in fact, it doesn't even matter of career or how much
Hmm.
money you make or
Hmm.
what car you drive or what clothes you wear. It really matters just how you make people feel and bring out the best in them. And to look back and I think that's the best thing that ever happened through the ukulele is not, at first was just, oh yeah, I want to get on that stage or whatever. And it's just funny where after a while, I realized that it wasn't fulfilling as much as I thought it was. And I came home after tours and I was wondering, what is that missing?
Yeah.
And I remember I was in San Diego, man. I was at this ukulele festival. It was awesome. It was off the waters. I mean, it was at this marina or something like that. And I remember I was kind of tired, but I
Mhm.
wanted to slow the show down and not just give energy and energy and energy. I wanted to connect, and I figured, just tell a story. So I ended up telling a story, kind of a long story about this song that I wrote. And I after the song, I looked up and I saw this lady in the front who was, I mean, she was there the whole time, but she started like bawling and crying, and it was like it was life changing for me because at first I thought I did something wrong, but I just realized that through words and story, not the ukulele now, not playing, not all the talent that you've been practicing for. It's the story, it's the connection. And I realized, wow, it really that's a whole different level of connection, not just music, but story and words. And
Mhm.
I came home and I talked to my wife about it, and it was one of those moments where it transformed me, where it's so important to connect. It's so important to share stories because everybody has struggles, everybody has the ups and downs,
Yep.
and and now it's all about that relationship of how you make people feel and how can you uplift them, not just through your music, but your stories.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. I love that. And just as you're talking, and I'm beaming because I can see as you're coming through these discoveries as one, thing after the next. And it sounds like you had a lot of really cool things that happened to you.
Yeah.
Tell me, has there been, I don't know, one or two like pinch me moments where you're like, this can't be real. I can't be here, or I can't be meeting this person. Or I'm sure you've met celebrities, you've done the whole thing. Like, you got a couple that really is like stand out for you?
I mean, I love sports,
Yeah.
and I remember like clear as day that um I was at my in-laws up the street with my wife. We were having dinner, like a just a normal weekend dinner
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
Papa used to cook us dinner. We go over there, hang out, love one another. And I remember on Papa's table, he always used to have this little TV and huge Lakers fans, man. I wasn't a Laker fan back then, but I was just forced to be a Laker fan
Sure.
because I was always watching Lakers. And
Right.
it was the era of Shaquille and Kobe, and
Kobe.
it
Yeah.
was entertaining, man.
Yeah.
I was I
Sure.
was an
Sure.
instant fan, man. And we were having dinner and was watching we were watching that little TV with the Lakers and the players going back and forth, back and forth. And I thinking, wow, that's a cool Laker logo, right? On center court, Staples Center. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow. So I turned to my wife, I tell her, hey, I wonder what it'd be like if I could actually play ukulele right there on center court. And we kind of paused. We just laughed at it, like, oh yeah, right, whatever's right. I mean, who? There's no ukulele player who's ever done it.
Right.
And I went home. I remember, and right before bed, I was like, what if? Like, how can I do that actually? So it planted a seed where it was nearly, I mean, it was just 100% almost impossible for how do you do it? And
Yeah.
oddly, long story short, after 7 or 8 years, um, I was the first ukulele player in Lakers history on Staples Center to play a national anthem on Lakers home court, man,
Yeah.
Staples Center. So
I love it.
So it was a long one, but along the way, it opened many, many doors with the
Sure.
Arizona Diamondbacks, two times, I think, with the PGA and all that stuff. And the Lakers
Wow.
called all of a sudden, and it just lined up perfectly. And, that's one of the stories where, it's not about me being that on that stage. It's the journey that
The
took
process. Yeah.
the
Yeah. The process.
process.
Yeah. That's
I
wild.
mean, man, that's a whole darn story right there. You talk about just if it's easy to just give up. It's easy to
Sure.
say, it's not gonna happen. But you just every single year, every off season, what can I do differently to call or being persistent in a polite way, obviously. But it's just yeah, it's just kind of chipping away, and all of a sudden, man, you start in believing and manifesting that, man, it will happen. It will happen for sure. So
I love the question, what if, right? Just what if, because
yeah,
that opens up the possibilities and makes way for dreams, right? Like, and dreaming is so. Actually, I'd love to get your perspective on and how important dreams are to people and why should they should dream.
Oh, that's why I just wrote this book, man, Daydreaming with Purpose. And I had this idea of writing a book long time, but I just didn't feel like it was time. And I have a book publishing coach, a good friend of mine's, before even thinking of writing a book, but he just told me earlier this year, it's time to take this seriously, where you have to share your stories, your journey, and how powerful your dreams are, and still were, and still is, of how everything kind of played out because you kept your dream close to your heart. You kept believing in your dreams. And I was thinking, wow, so that's how the title, Daydreaming with Purpose, this book, I wrote. It's a message, it's a memoir with a message. It's about self-empowerment, self-leadership. It's about manifesting your passion into your purpose. All that good stuff through my stories of music, relationships, the ups, the downs. But yeah, dreams are important, man. I really, because sometimes dreams scare the heck out of people.
Sure, they do.
Most dreams do. Most dreams do. And a lot of people, they shut it down because number one thing that really kicks in is I'm not good enough, or who am I to think that way, or who am I to say that, who am I to do that to begin with. That imposter syndrome per se, if you
That's a big one.
it's huge. It's huge. And it's that, are you willing to step out of that comfort zone? I just try, because it's not a failure. It's a lesson learned. Hey, at least I tried, and let's just take it another way. So yeah,
Beautiful.
dreams are important, man. Dreams, big or small, it just leads to your true calling in life or your
Beautiful.
purpose. And you start to grow. And to me, when you grow that character, nobody can take away your character, man. Nobody in this world. You
Mm.
develop that character, that foundation within yourself, that confidence and that purpose, that calling. So, yeah, that's a great question, Nani. I love it, man. Dreams are powerful, man, for sure. So,
They do. Yeah. Again, for me, the that what if question just opens up the floodgates, and when you just imagine, you can just, it's almost like if you had a magic wand can make anything happen, what would that be, right? And
yeah,
I wonder how many people would struggle to answer that question, right?
yeah,
That's a lot. Like if you had a magic wand and you can make anything happen, what would that be? And
yeah.
I'm sure there's some, but yeah, I'll do this, but I think there's some who may not know. And for those
Mhm.
who may not know, I would encourage to start removing the shackles or the limitations of the doubts and just living carefree and just thinking in a world where anything is possible. And perhaps it just might lead you to the Lakers Center, Lake Staples Center playing at the Lakers logo, right?
It happened. I mean, it surely wasn't overnight, it's over years per se. And
Sure, sure.
but then again, at the end of the day, I realized that my music gift is a lot bigger than me. My stories that I've encountered and experienced is a lot bigger than me. And now I'm at a point in my life where, it's all about just sharing it and hopefully empowering others, sharing it through I mean, hey, not always it was always like good. Not
Sure.
always was at this level. There's a lot of lows, man. There's
Yeah.
a lot of adversities, a lot of rejections, a lot of, hey, you're not good enough. There's no,
Mm,
that's not what we're looking for. What is the ukulele? How can you even perform at a corporate event when it's just a little toy instrument? And I mean, it's not a toy instrument. You know what I'm saying? So um, but yeah, that's part of life, and that's part of building your character,
I
and
love it.
it's all good,
I
man.
love it.
Yeah,
No, it
so
definitely is. And you wear it so well. There's no doubt about that. What's the biggest misconception that people have about ukuleles?
ukulele can't play every song or any song. Man, ukulele can play any song and every song. Like I said, it's the probably the most underrated instrument, which is fine. It's because it's a small little toy like
Yeah.
instrument, ukulele, right? Like a high pitch, happy go lucky instrument. And now there's, oh my gosh, hundreds and thousands of artists around the world that can play like crazy stuff. Every single
Right.
song. There's legends on ukulele. There's masters teach. I mean, it's amazing. So now
Right.
it's a world instrument that everybody loves and plays. They might not perform on it, but they maybe
Yep.
most likely
Yep.
have them in their house and jam a couple songs. So
You,
yeah.
you, you got one close by there? Got one near you?
I don't. I'm gonna.
I said, let's strum. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, man! Shucks.
Awesome. Next time.
Yeah,
Next time. That's
yeah. You
so,
gotta, you gotta put the music on, brother.
that's it. That's it. That's it. So the book is called Daydreaming with Purpose, and it's out now. Where can people pick up their own copy?
Yes. Well, right now it's currently in the pre-sale stage.
Gotcha. Okay.
So by the time this podcast airs, it's probably gonna be out and about. But the best way to figure to find out is going daydreamingwithpurpose.com.
Gotcha.
That's yeah, and you'll find out all the information and
Lovely.
or my website dericksebastian.com. So and you can whatever put them in the show notes, Ali. Just
For
keep
sure.
smiling, brother. Don't stress about it, man. Don't.
No, I don't stress, man. I'm good. I'm good. No stress. That's awesome.
It's
Derek,
great.
man, this has been great, great, great chatting with you, man. I love the mission. I love the work. I love the dreaming. And without question, you are a big inspiration for a lot of people just by going after your dreams. So congratulations. And thank you for being a guest on the Audacious Living Podcast.
Awesome. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate it, buddy.
Back, we are here on the podcast, and in our conversation with Derek, he emphasized the importance of dreaming big and the power of self-belief. He shared how this initial spark of curiosity about the ukulele transformed into a lifelong passion that opened up doors he never thought possible. One of the main points that struck with me was when he said dreams are powerful and they lead you to your true calling in life. I loved how he illustrated that every challenge he faced was not a setback, but rather a stepping stone towards his ultimate goals. This perspective is a reminder that our journeys may be filled with obstacles, but those or very same obstacles can lead us to incredible growth and fulfillment. I encourage each of you to connect with Derek directly. You can find his contact details in the show notes below, along with more information about his inspiring projects. He's always eager to engage with those who share a passion for music and personal growth. As well, be sure to check out his brand new book, Daydreaming with Purpose, which is currently available for pre-order. Really, this book encapsulates his journey and offers insights into manifesting your dreams into reality. And you certainly don't want to miss this opportunity to dive into some of his powerful messages. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us on this inspiring episode of the Audacious Living Podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversations, please consider follow, subscribing, and sharing if you haven't done so already. Your support helps us grow and reach even more individuals looking to live audaciously. Until next time, keep dreaming big, stay safe, be kind to one another, and be audacious.
You've been listening to the Audacious Living Podcast, hosted by Audley Stephenson. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be audacious.